understood and supervise and accomplish. So, the secret to the obligation is communication. This idea is in the exercise of command necessary. Before you can expect being the success of your subordinates, they must first know what is expected of them. So you have to convey the directions clearly in a concise way. Speak at a level the colleagues are sure to understand, but not at such a low level that their intellect would be offended. So before your subordinates begin a job, let them have the opportunity to ask question or seek advice, and supervision is paramount. So you cannot know if the assigned task is being done correctly without supervision. So subordinates view over supervision as abuse and effectively halt their initiative. So before you subordinates uh, begin a job, so you must have the opportunity to ask questions or to have a seek advice. Then next is let subordinates use their own strategies and then test their progress regularly. So let their let the subordinates show their own strategies and and to have a progress. So ensure that an order is required before the order is issued. Use the chain of command established. Give clear, concise, and constructive orders through research and practice. And encourage subordinates to ask questions about anything that they do not understand in your instruction or directive. So encourage every subordinates to ask question about anything. If they don't understand what your instructions or what you give uh, the instruction. So next is ask your subordinates if there is any question or confusion about the mission or task to be done, and monitor the execution and of your orders and ensure that your subordinates have the source of necessary to carry out the task or assignment, and vary the monitoring schedule and the points you emphasize during inspections, exercise care, and supervisory thinking. Train as a team. Train as a team is very important. Although a lot of so-called leaders call their organization department, sections, a team, they're not teams. They are just a group of people who do their job. So within perfections and teamwork as an aim. So each waking hour subordinate should be trained and developed, challenged and checked, corrected, and encourage every subordinate. So subordinates are measured in appearance, bearing, and attitude, self-improvement, and most importantly, performance. So there can be no reason for leaders failing to train their subordinates in the highest state of physical condition and instructing them to be the very best in the arms profession. So, and train with a reason and emphasize the core elements of teamwork. And next is cooperation. Cooperation is the secret to efficient operation. So teamwork is important to the entire order from the smallest unit. As a leader, you have to ensure that your subordinates work in synergy and train, play, and act like a team. And be sure every subordinate knows his or her role and responsibilities within the context of the team. So the subordinates they must know how his what is the role and responsibilities within the organization. So When team spirit is in existence, the most challenging tasks become much easier to achieve. Teamwork is a bidirectional road. Individual subordinates give their best, and the team provides security, operation, and a sense of accomplishment to the subordinates in exchange. Employ your command in accordance with its capabilities. So you'll be able to employ the organization to its fullest ability by creating a team spirit. So successful execution of a mission depends on how will you know the strength of your organization. So if the assigned role is one that that the subordinates were not prepared to do, it is very likely to result in failure. So kung wala sila kabalo, is the result is a failure. So failures lower the moral and self-esteem of your organization. So there's an they can affect your organization. And next is 6 challenging tasks for your subordinates, but be sure team is equipped for them and is able to complete the task successfully. So it is important to complete the task successfully in every situation. So do not volunteer the team for activities that they are not able to complete. So the organization will not only fail, but your subordinates will think you are out for personal glory. So keep yourself updated as to the operational effectiveness and of the team. Make sure subordinates are given duties that are fair. So in an emergency, do not hesitate to demand the utmost and analyze all design tasks. If the means to your specialty, notify immediately for supervision and request the appropriate support. So and assign duties to your subordinates equally. So it's important to assign duties to your employees. You have to be equal or equally. So use your unit's full capabilities before you ask help. So next is supervision for leaders. Supervision maintains an understanding of the situation. So and ensure proper implementation of plans and policies. This involves giving guidance and reviewing the performance of a job. So there is a small supervision unit, there is overvision, micromanagement on one side of the band, and under supervision on the other side. So over supervision stifles initiative, creates resentment and decrease morale and motivation. So under supervision leads to miscommunication, lack of coordination, and subordinates impressions that the leader is not concerned with. So nonetheless, all workers will benefit from proper monitoring by seniors with more knowledge and experience, who usually appear to more critically view the situation. So next is the evaluation. So evaluating is part of supervising. So yes, so it is defined as evaluating the value or the quality or significance of people, ideas, or things. So this involves looking at the ways people accomplish a task. So this means receiving feedback and understand the feedback and how everything is being done. So people required feedback to be able to judge their performance, to evaluate their performance. Without it, they may continue to perform tasks poorly or stop taking steps that make their job perfect. So use the checklist to list activities to be completed. So when it comes to recalling a list of items, almost everyone of us had bad memory. So list tasks by priority. So example A, Uh, Priorities must be done today. So B, priorities must be done by tomorrow. And C is priorities need to be followed up within a week. So through following though on them, double check the important things. So and strange things can happen if you don't know them. Paperwork get lost, and plans get changed, and people forget. And if you have a checks and double check system, you will find errors and have time to correct them and mitigate any damage. So mitigate any damage if there is an damage. And it may seem like a waste of your time and energy following through, but in the long run, they plays off. You'll be spending less time and efforts correcting long standard errors and omission. So the next is inspiring subordinates. So how to inspire the subordinates? So it's much easier to get people to do something if they have the drive to do so. So inspire means to breath in life, or and to do that we have to have a life of our own. So these are the three main actions. Will aid you accomplish this. So first is be passionate. So trickle down impact can arise in the organization where there is a leader with great enthusiasm about a project, and you have to devote yourself to the job and that you do, and do not expect your people to be worked up about it if you don't express the excitement. So the second is involve subordinates and in the decision making process. So involve the subordinates of what are the decision making. So people involved in decision making process are much more deeply involved than those who simply carry out the order of the manager. Help them contribute, inform them that you value their opportunities when it makes sense, and to do so. So listen to them and integrate their suggestion. Third is know what your organizational is about. So according to General Quinton Abrams, the army is not made up of people. The army is people. Every decision we make is a people issue. So the same is the organization. It may be making a product or providing a service, but they are still men. The primary responsibility of a leader is to grow people and encourage them to attain their full potential. Your people may come from various of backgrounds, but they all have goals they want to achieve. Create a people setting in which they can really be everything they can be. Next is training and coaching. So training and coaching are two different things, although use them interchangeably. So training is a structural lesson designed to give people the knowledge and skill to perform a task. So training, this is the train a lesson to give people knowledge and skills to perform a task. So next is coaching. It's the process of design to help the employee develop more expertise and solve obstacles to improve job performance. So coaching, the coaching is the process to help every employee to develop and enhance their skills and resolve obstacles to improving their jobs. So training and coaching are going hand in hand. First, to train people with a great deal of technical support, and then you teach them with motivation tips. So training as well as coaching help create the conditions that encourage somebody to learn and develop. People learn from the experience of others by building an image of what they are trying to learn is their minds, and by acquiring and knowing the knowledge they need by applying it to their job and or practices. So this is the common points, both coaching and training. So testing is to assess levels of knowledge, capacity, and trust. And next is defines targets, and that can be prudently calculated. This help differentiate this into step-by-step actions. Next is to clarify course, goals, and responsibility. To promote accountability, include the individual or team in the decision-making process, and encourage for coaching by reminding them that everyone has a stake in each other's success. So, and coaching is more than telling people how to do something. It involves giving guidance, building skills, and generating obstacles, removing barriers to success, building better systems, and learning through discoveries, and cope with emotional challenges by helping improve, analyzing, and pointing out ways, hold back, encouraging them when they become frustrated, and so on, and give feedback by pointing and suggesting solution rather than actively criticizing errors. So as a leader, you must view coaching from two different viewpoints, which is the coaching to lead others and being coached to achieve self-improvement. Yan. So next is learning. So learning, condition of learning. To be successful in guiding subordinates, the leader must familiarize himself with this learning condition and strictly follow them while training his people. Then A, the person must be motivated to learn. So you cannot teach certain people who are not inspired to learn knowledge or skills. They've got to feel the need to learn what you say. Many workers are inspired to do good work, and they want to be able to carry out their duties properly, and their motivation is to be able to carry out their work in return for a salary, rewards, or challenges and job satisfactions, or etc. And B is involve your subordinates in the process. So keep their attention in their learning process. So by deliberating, engaging their minds and emotions, and participate in them through active capability practice or through conversation. So with a lengthy lecture, you can keep their attention. So people normally may attention for a short period of time, less than 30 minutes. We need to use what they're told in their minds. Wonder you're lecturing for an hour, they're very little recall. So these are the 6 points of leadership power. So power refers to the ability a person has to control another action, such that he or she behaves according to his or her wishes. So such power is the capacity or potential. It means potential that does not need to be realized in order to be effective. That is, they may be power, but it doesn't need to be used to successful. So first is coercive power. So power that based on fear. So it is based on fear. This is the coercive power. So a person with coercive power can make things hard for humans. So these are the people that you wish to avoid being angry with. So employees who work under a coercive boss are unlikely to commit themselves and are more likely to resist the manager. And second is reward power. So compliance achieved on the basis of the ability to distribute rewards which others find important. So it might give people a special benefit or incentives. Trading favors with him or her might seem beneficial. So next is legitimate power. The power a person receives in an organization's formal hierarchy as a consequence of his or her role. The person has the right to expect it to comply with valid demands and given his or her status in their job and responsibilities. So, legitimate power comes from having a position of power in an organization, such as being the boss or a key member of a leadership team. So, this power comes when employees in the organization recognize the authority of the individual. For example, the CEO who determines the overall directions of the company and the resource needs of the company. So next is the expert power. So this power influence based on special skills of knowledge. So experience and knowledge give the person respect. Expert influence is the most firmly and regularly connected to the productive output of subordinates. So expert power comes from one's experiences, skills, or knowledge. As we gain experience in particular areas and become true leaders in those areas, we begin to gather expert power that can be utilized to get others to help us meet our goals. For example, the project manager, who is the expert at solving particularly challenging problems to ensure a project stay on the track. So next is the referent power. It influence based on individual or desirable possession of wealth or personal traits. So sometimes this is seen as beauty, elegance, or appreciation. You like the individual and you want to do things for him or her. So referent power comes from being trusted and power are respected. We can gain referent power when others trust what we do and respect us for how we handle a situation. For example, the human resources associated, who is known for ensuring employees are treated fairly and coming to the rescue of those who are not. So next is the informational power. So it provides information to others which leads to thinking or acting in a new way. So that is information. Significance of self-control leadership. So according to Anonymous, a cyclone has the power to cause heavily damage to crops, houses, and even cities. It could pack a wind of 125 to 280 km per hour, enough to create a wind spread distractions. It's said that the cyclone derives its power from its calm center. And according to Proverbs 16:32, he who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who capture a city. So for our leadership, the same principle holds true. Leaders being influential individuals within the organization and having the greatest impact on the lives of their people. So must learn and exercise self-control. Leaders are gaining people trust power and respect. When they exemplify self-control, the more power a leader has, the greater the confidence. So influence and respect people will have for him. So will you have a calm area like cycle? So have you been self-disciplined? Can you so according to John Maxwell, leadership traits. A leadership is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. So the leader is the one who knows, and it goes, and the one who shows, according to John Maxwell. So if you describe a leader, he or she can prove to be a creator of difference between success and failure. So a good leader has a futuristic vision and knows how to turn his vision into success stories in the real world. So whether you're just starting out as a leader or have been leading for a while, you'll certainly benefit from understanding the basic characteristics that all great leaders have. So the role of manager or boss transcends productive or efficient leaders. We also found a way to achieve the perfect blend of charm and passions and self-assurance. It may seem as if some people are born with leadership skills, but with time and practice, the reality is most leadership character and can be trained, adapted, and strengthened. So as we delve into this list of the effective leadership traits, so you will learn the behaviors and attitudes of a good leader. So let us take closely to at some important qualities of leadership. So first is the honesty and integrity. So according to Dwight Eisenhower, supreme quality of leadership is unquestionably integrity. Without it, no real success is possible. So no matter whether it is on a section gang, a football field, in any arm or an office. So honesty and integrity are two key ingredients that make for a good leader. So how can you expect honesty from your followers when you yourself lack these qualities? Honest and the integrity. So leader flourish when hold your core values and beliefs. This won't be possible without ethics. Next is the confidence. So you should be comfortable enough to be an effective leader and ensure people obey your orders. If your own decision and values are uncertain, if your own otherwise your subordinates will never obey you. So you must be oozing with confidence as a leader and display some assertiveness in order to gain and the respect of your subordinates. So this doesn't mean you should be overconfident, but at least you should show the degree of confidence needed to make sure your followers trust you as a leader. So third is inspired others. So if you're so according to John Quincy Adams, so if your action inspired others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. So probably the hardest thing a leader has to do is to persuade others to comply. So it can only be is by setting a good example for you inspired your followers, because the good leader is good follower. So they look up to you when the going gets tough and see how you react to the situation. So they follow you when you handle it well. So as a leader, you should think positive, and your actions will make this positive approach clear. So when you succeed in empowering your subordinates, you can easily resolve every obstacle now in the future. So fourth is commitment and passion. So the team looks up to you, and you have to be enthusiastic about that too if you want them to give their all. So if your team sees you're getting your hands dirty, they'll give their best too. So it will also help you gain your subordinates confidence and instill their energy in your team member, so which will make them perform better. And when they believe you are not fully committed or lack motivation, they inspiring your followers to achieve the goal would be an uphill task for you as a leader. So next is good communicator. So as a leader, you have to communicate your vision so clearly to your team and tell them the plan for achieving the goals. And it will be very difficult for you to get the result because you want if you don't. So you can never be a good leader because you can effectively express your message to your team. Words have the potential to get people motivated and make them do the unthinkable. So if you are making effective use of them, you can also achieve better result. Next is the decision making. So decision making capabilities. So a leader should have the ability to take the right decision at the right time. So in addition to having a futuristic vision, leaders take action that have a profound impact on the people. A leader should think long and hard before taking a decision, but stand by it once the decision is made. So although most leaders make their own decision, so it is highly recommended that you consult your stakeholders so before you make decision. So after all, they will benefit your decision or suffer from them. So next is accountability. So according to Arnold Glasow, accountability: a good leader takes little more than his share of the blame and little less than his share of the credit. So make sure that each of the subordinate is responsible for what they do, and give them a pat on the back if they don't well, but when they fail, make them realize their mistake and work together to improve. Holding them to account for their actions will create a sense of duty among your subordinates, and they will be more serious about their organization. So you as being a leader, give the subordinates a pat of what they do, and if they fail, make them realize their mistakes and improve and enhance to work together. And next is delegations and empowerment. So you just can't do it all right. So focusing on the key responsibilities, empowerment and delegating the duties to your followers. When you try to micromanage your subordinates, and a lack of trust will grow, and more importantly, you won't be able to focus on important things. So as you should delegate the subordinates duties and see how they do. So provide them with all the resources and the support they need to attain the target, and give them opportunity to bear responsibility. That's a delegation and empowerment.